have to tell you, I disqualified myself for even filing for DIC because I read the rules for DIC benefits, and it said that he had to be on 100% disabled for 10 years. When my husband died, I disqualified myself because it was the people who were telling me trying to do my application, and when I told them, the VA, that my husband was in the hospital dying, and she said to me when I called her and told her that he finally passed away, she said, she was telling me all the things that I could do for handling the body for my husband and stuff, and to get funeral services and all that kind of stuff. She also told me to apply for DIC, and I said, I can't apply for DIC. I said, my husband wasn't 100% disabled for 10 years. And she said, really? She said, you should apply anyway, and I ignored her. And then when I went to the Social Security office to qualify for my husband's Social Security, that the guy I explained my husband's situation, and the guy was like, oh my God, he said, you need to apply for DIC. He says, I said, no, I don't qualify for DIC. And I explained to him why I thought I didn't qualify. He said, well, here, you should file anyway. He said, here's the name of an attorney, go there. And again, I ignored it because I was convinced I didn't qualify for DIC. So 6 months later, now it was June, and I said, I better see if I can qualify for DIC. I think what happened is I did an internet search, and I finally read through the rules again, and I kind of got through what I was reading that said if I could prove that my husband died from a connected his death was connected to his military injury or disability, that I could, even though I didn't meet the 10-year 100% disability, that I could possibly still get it. That's going back. It took me 6 months to, for that to go through, and came up with documentation that indeed there was a direct relationship to coronary syndrome and PTSD. And when I came up with the VA's own documentation, I went, oh my God. And that's when I got to work on writing letters on the PTSD, sending the documentation of the VA itself. And then I went and got my own doctors my husband's doctor to write a letter saying that indeed that my husband had coronary syndrome and that it was in relationship to the PTSD, which is all documented in the records that I sent the VA as well, because I opened up his entire medical records from Cedars-Sinai to when filing for DIC. At this point, after talking with you and continuing down the PTSD and the coronary syndrome, I feel pretty secure in my process now because, like I said, getting that letter from my husband's doctor, who had been his doctor for the last 6 years, putting in all of Cedars-Sinai medical records, giving the entire thing, opening it up to the VA. When my husband died, not only did I lose his disability check, I lost his Social Security. And the only thing that I got was the fact that my husband made $2,000 and I made $1,800. So what they did was replace my Social Security check with my husband's Social Security check, and I got $100 a month more. That's it. So I lost more than 75% of my income right at the point of my husband dying. Now let me explain to you why, as a widow, you are being punished. As a widow of a 100% veteran, you have to get, in order to get DIC, your husband have to be 100% disabled. Your check right now in 2025 is $1,653 a month. A veteran at 70% disabled, a veteran at 70% disabled gets a check of $1,700 a month. That's at 70%. Your husband had to be 100% disabled for 10 years for you to get $1,600. As a woman, as a widow, you are punished. You see how you are punished? What the hoops that you have to go through to qualify to get $1,600 a month? It's not at all easy, and it's not at all fair. The hoops that you have to go through, and basically, once you a lot of the benefits that you have as a widow, once your husband dies, if you don't have them before he dies, you don't get them. Say like the benefits that you had if your husband wasn't a 100%. If he wasn't 100%, you lose those benefits. If you didn't get them before he died. I found out that I just got, because I was going through found out about I could get the $3,000 a month for caring for my husband. I also found out that I qualified for CHAMP VA. What? Because I had Social Security, I qualified for CHAMP VA. I didn't even know anything about CHAMP VA. And just so happened that I was approved for CHAMP VA. I was approved, but I didn't get the approval until after my husband died. I applied for it, but I didn't get the final approval until after my husband had passed. But I went to the VSO office, and I was, trying to understand how can I qualify for DIC. I was told that because if I didn't qualify for DIC and my husband passed away and I hadn't applied for CHAMP VA before my husband passed away, I could not get CHAMP VA. And my reply to them was, well, am I going to lose CHAMP VA now because my husband is dead? He said, no, not likely. Once you got it, you have it. But if I'd have tried to apply for CHAMP VA without DIC, I wouldn't have got it. It's so overwhelming, the stuff that you got to teach yourself if your husband is a disabled vet. The things that you've got to know, and it's not openly there unless you know what to search for. If you know what you're looking for. But that means you got to find out a little bit of information beforehand to even ask the question.